Dragonfolk, you guys are never going to believe what big box store is selling some pretty good deals for Magic the Gathering. Welcome on in, Dragonfolk. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. I know I am, and I'm so happy to see all of you here with me. So, today we're going to be talking about an awesome deal that I personally found out in the wild. And honestly, I would never have even thought to look at a place like this if it were not for the fact that, A, I technically had already bought a cool deal from this place before in a previous video, and I saw a few things on some Facebook pages. They really do help you out. If you have Facebook pages that are part of a card game that you enjoy, they tend to do pretty well at letting everybody know what stores are doing what kind of deals. So this is something to look into. Now, I'm not sure why these stores are having these specific sales, because quite frankly, I'm sure they're going to be probably not selling this kind of stuff much longer. Although I must say that obviously this product has been out for some time, so I'm sure this company is actually planning to get rid of it because it's just holding up spots in their storage facilities and in their warehouses. So I don't doubt them for wanting to put this on sale. So there is a current sale at none other than GameStop right now. Now, normally I would tell you to go buy all of your stuff from an LGS, right? Because obviously you got to support the mom and pop shops. You got to support the small businesses like an LGS, especially since an LGS gives you a place to play and a place to genuinely just kind of have a fun little environment to enjoy the game that you enjoy. Well, today, don't do that. Go to GameStop instead because they are selling Commander Precon decks for pretty cheap. Now, at my GameStop, there was only Commander decks available, no single packs. I don't know whether or not people are selling single packs and getting them for this price, but keep in mind, what GameStop is doing is GameStop usually has a clearance section, right? Clearance is, of course, as clearance is, all this overload of product gets sent to GameStops around the world, and then GameStops are told to put this on clearance because it's product that they're trying to sell and get rid of so that they can make space for new products. So Magic the Gathering being one of the products that GameStop sells, along with many other card games. But I always forget that GameStop is a big box store that sells cards. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. It's almost like Barnes & Noble. I often forget Barnes & Noble sells cards like that. But what I'm going to show you is what I picked up. So here we have one of our things that we picked up. A Upgrades Unleashed Kamigawa Neon Dynasty Commander Precon, right? Now, I bought both of them. And you can see that I bought both of them because they were $31.97 at checkout. So let's say an estimated $32, right? I know it's a little bit more than that, but $32 for this. And they also were running a sale where it was 50% off the clearance price, which means that this $31.97 being about $32 was cut in half, which means I bought this deck, this 100 card ready to use right out of the box deck, except I actually think this one is the one with the error in it. There are a couple precons that came out that have two of the same card in the land slot, I want to say. So I think it's this one. It's either this one or one of the Crimson Vow ones. I can't remember, but just keep an eye out for that. But this I paid $16 for. Technically, it was like $17 after tax. $17 for a 100 card out of the box Magic the Gathering experience. $17. And let me tell you, considering these things MSRP'd at $45 a long time ago, and even still all pieced out, it looks like these go for about $50, you make a pretty good deal if you end up actually just like pulling all these out and then just selling the good cards. But frankly, I like the idea of having a deck like this just kind of available for everything. Having precons really let you know kind of the mechanics behind a deck, the mechanics behind some of the stuff that is in the set that they've come from. And this is also what you'll find throughout your time buying Magic the Gathering. These precons will eventually go on sale for quite a bit. I know the professor over at Tolarian Community College, he often says that there are awesome sales on Card Kingdom, which I'm not sponsored by, but if you're looking for one, I'm here. But the professor often says that there are a bunch of sales on older precon decks on Card Kingdom. So with that being said, there are, plenty of Innistrad Midnight Hunt and Innistrad Crimson Vow commander decks that are absolutely cheaper, that like at least 50% off than they were when they launched. Then you're looking at, some other a lot of the older decks tend to be a little bit more expensive depending on the age of them. I believe you can still get the Strixhaven ones and the Kaldheim ones and the Zendikar ones for all pretty cheap still. But I think anything before that, like you're looking at like Commander 2018, Commander 2017, even Commander 2019 decks have kind of pushed themselves forward and have definitely made a bump in price. But that's just because I think a lot of the cards in there are very good. They tend to have more product in them, whereas with the newer Commander decks, the precon specifically, there is a lot less stuff in them. So, I mean, and by stuff, I mean like filler, which is funny because technically they all really come with more filler, I think. So this is my word to you, right? I think that this is a great thing. They were also selling new Capenna Commander precons there as well on clearance. Their clearance price was $50, which was a little weird considering they usually right around MSRP for $45. But a clearance for $50, and then you take 50% off of that, you are buying a brand new Capenna precon from like 2 sets ago, because technically you consider Battle for Baldur's Gate to have a set of commander decks and then Dominaria United to have another set. So 3 sets ago, you have decks, 5 of them, that you could buy for $25 a piece at GameStop. Now, the reason I say go after this is because in a time like this, right, you have to be vigilant out there when you're buying product, right? You don't want to buy overpriced product and then have it just sit there and do nothing. Like there's no benefit from having that in the future, because frankly, that's just the way it goes. I mean, buying a $50 deck at the time, right, could net you, whatever, right? Like, obviously $50 for a thing of fun is great, but I don't ever think that you should buy commander decks the second they come out, because they are guaranteed to go down. It is a product that is not often purchased at stores, right? At stores, usually you're buying like a pack or a couple packs or something. Not too many people are going to Walmart and buying a commander deck. Most of the time, you'll see people go to LGSs and buy commander deck precons. And that's great because the LGS gets its profit and they get the sale out of it. But at a time like this, where they're literally giving them away, I mean, $17, really $16 for a 100 card out of the box ready deck is pretty good. And it tends to be that way for just about most of these commander decks. So if you're looking to get into commander, I suggest calling your local GameStop and just double check to see whether or not they have a 50% off clearance sticker sale going on right now. I believe they're going to be doing that for a little while now, because according to my GameStop, they did specifically say, and I quote, "They just keep sending us more clearance stuff, so take it all," is what he said. So that is a good thing, right? It's good because that means that when shipments come in, right? You can see whether or not there's some more new stuff coming in, and buying Magic on a budget, right? This is a great way to up a collection, to get new cards for new decks, try out new things, right? Let's say you've never played a vehicle deck in your life, right? You don't know anything about vehicles and how they work. This is a deck that is supposed to synergize well with that and teach you kind of how vehicles work, how vehicle synergy happens with a lot of artifacts. And it's in Azorius, so it's got a lot of control. Whereas you have the devastating power of Gruul in red-green, but this deals with a lot of equipments, right? So you're going to be attaching a lot of equipment and equipment creatures in this deck while powering up your creatures to essentially destroy your opponent. So that is the whole PSA for today. Hopefully that kind of gets stuff in. Oh, also, fun fact, this is kind of a little silly thing that I just literally found out maybe a minute before the video. But this is red-green, right? This is a red-green deck. And I know nobody else is going to care about this funny little thing, but did you notice that the pull tab at the bottom is the same colors as the deck? This one is red-green, Gruul. And this one is blue-white, Azorius. What a weird thing, right? Like, not something, I don't know. It's not a little detail that I'm like, oh, great job, Wizards, you color coordinated with your deck. But it was just an interesting thing. I feel like they could have just made them generic pull tabs and nobody would have known the wiser. But it makes sense to, make them a little more personalized. But that is the entire point, right? Go check out your local GameStop. Finding deals is the greatest way to start a collection in Magic, to start kind of grabbing new things and to pushing yourself forward into kind of, making your own deck and just piling through a bunch of the commons and uncommons and rares that you might have and trying to throw something together to make something work, right? There's tons of ways to get a lot of Magic cards for cheap, right? You can go online and look at different lots that are available. You can buy cards in like 4,000 card lots for, I don't know, like $40, $50. Pretty cheap considering you get 4,000 cards from like many different eras. Usually there's some rares, some not rares, mostly not rares, mostly uncommons and commons, but that's for a different video. I mainly wanted to kind of give a shout out to GameStop for running these kind of sales, and definitely go check them out to see whether or not there's anything at your local GameStop that you might be able to pick up for cheap. And if you did pick up something for cheap, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to see what kind of goodies everybody got if they ended up buying from their local GameStop. And more importantly, while you're down there, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel as well if you have not already. I like to try to keep up with these fun little things that happen, and this is just something I came across in my personal day. So hopefully you guys get to take advantage of this sale, and hopefully you find some really, really cool deals, because the last time I was there, they had collector packs on sale for clearance. So I wonder if this time around they'll have collector packs on sale for clearance and then 50% off, which is a huge steal. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do really appreciate your support. And while you are down there writing that comment, right, doing all that stuff, you can also check the description below. We do have a Patreon account for everybody to join if you wanted to join in a more monetary fashion. We have some fantastic tiers, and I actually just released a cool little thing where if you're a patron, you get access to my TCGPlayer sell list before anybody else. So make sure to take a look into that, and hopefully you can find something that you would enjoy in your own personal collection. So thank you again, and I'll see you all very soon. Nerd out.